And welcome to another episode of the I Am Tim Evans Show, where motivation meets momentum. And today I got my good friend Michael Gough here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, Tim. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome, indeed, man. And so today we're going to discuss a little bit about AI, which you know a lot about, right?
I study it 3 or 4 hours a day. I'm afraid I will get behind if I don't because the learning curve is only going to get steeper.
That is true. So before we dive too deep into it, like tell the people a little bit about yourself and AI.
I started out an engineer by education and quickly moved into sales because I wasn't a very good engineer.
Okay.
And so I've been in telecom, cloud security, cybersecurity, sales all my life.
Okay. Yeah. So it kind of sounds like AI kind of just falls in line with what you were doing or something like that, right?
Right.
Okay. So for the people who don't know, how would you describe artificial intelligence or AI in simple terms?
It's a large language model
Okay.
where computers go into that large language model and train themselves on like GPT is a
Uh-huh.
product of OpenAI.
Gotcha.
OpenAI is the parent company. Elon Musk originally invested $44 billion in it when it was a nonprofit,
Oh,
but
wow.
Sam Alderman turned it into a for-profit company,
Okay.
and now there's a big spat between those two. Elon Musk calls him Scam Alderman,
Oh man.
and they've just announced that they're going to pull back on the for-profit and make it a public benefit corporation,
Okay.
which is still a for-profit, but it it has some humanitarian mission
Okay.
statements to it, things like that.
Got you. So from what you've been studying and learning and what you know, like what do you think are the biggest misconceptions about AI? Because I hear a lot of people, that don't really understand it, but are kind of afraid of it too.
I would encourage people to just start using it because I use it at least 100 times a day, and
Yeah.
I pay for Chat GPT. I pay it's $20 a month for Chat GPT Professional.
Yeah.
I also pay $20 a month for uh, Claude Sonnet
Okay.
3.5, and that's those are two different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the Claude platform is you can load projects in it that are proprietary
Okay.
because it doesn't put your information out on the internet, whereas ChatGPT it pushes your information, it reuses your information that you feed it.
Yeah.
So if you put proprietary information in there,
It's
it'll
going out to the
going
world.
out to the world.
Yeah. Okay. And I've heard that from others before, but I use ChatGPT myself, like for a lot of things, and I'm still learning that there are a ton of things that you can use it for outside of just getting information. But it kind of helps me with scheduling. I think I told you a little bit about it. I put what my schedule was that day,
Uh,
and it found the time gaps, and I told it what I wanted to do, and it gave me a whole like itinerary for my day as to what I can
it's
do.
so helpful.
Yeah.
It is so helpful. It was very helpful in this research paper. I've done a white paper on this that
Okay.
we can push out, and we're not going to be able to cover all of this. What's in here? I was just thinking we would hit the high spots today on
Yeah, for
AI.
sure.
We wouldn't bore everybody. They could read it if they wanted to.
Got you. So yeah, what we'll do is I'll put a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out, download it, and give us some feedback on it, or give Michael some feedback on it because he created it for sure.
Yeah, but use it to teach yourself how to do it because I believe I'm in the crawl, walk, run phase of my strategy. I'm in the crawl phase right now,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm concerned that if I don't learn it today, and I spend 3 or 4 hours a day studying AI, watching tutorials.
Hmm.
I pay Agent AI to teach me how to do the agent things,
Okay.
which is the next step for AI. Right now, the chat GPT is all serial. You ask it a question, it gives you the answer. You
Right.
ask it another question, it gives you the answer.
Hmm.
Where it's going, and it's already there, is AI automation,
Right.
so that you can put steps into it. Do this, and when that finishes, do this. When that
Okay.
finishes, do this. When that finishes, do this, and then turn the results into me. And I want the results to look like this.
Yeah. So sounds like you would make AI your assistant, so to speak,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay. Man, that's awesome. That's something that would
And
be
then
great.
the phase after that has already started, and that's where AI is going to be able to reason
Okay.
and make its own decisions. So instead of automated AI where it goes step by step by step by step,
Hmm.
you can put some steps in there so it'll make its own decision based on the
For
information it
information.
gathers,
Oh, that's
which
awesome.
is why it's so important that we program this brain to
Right.
be ethical.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So how do you think right now AI is shaping, business industries?
If you're heavy into Google,
Hmm.
you're probably going to gravitate towards the Gemini platform because
Okay.
it's a multimodal platform and it integrates really, really well with all of the Google
Okay.
products like searching. Google has the best search engines,
Yeah, for sure.
and also things like maps and
Hmm.
lens and images. So although everything that has Google on it,
Right.
you're going to gravitate towards the AI that Google has called Gemini.
Okay.
Uh, Google AI is the parent company, and well, and then Gemini is the product, kind of
Okay.
like OpenAI is the parent company of
Chat GPT.
ChatGPT,
Gotcha.
and Anthropic is the parent company of Claude.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It is most
Meta
definitely a lot.
is the parent company of Lambda.
Okay.
So anything Facebook, like uh, uh,
I know Facebook has like its own Ask AI or something like that, or something.
yeah,
I think I've
yeah,
seen
it
seen
doesn't
on
work
there.
very well. But
I got you.
anything like that Meta owns, like
Hmm.
WhatsApp or uh, what was Amanda's platform?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Any of
Yeah.
those platforms, if that's where you play
Hmm.
and is that's your playground, then you're going to gravitate towards a Lambda
Okay. Got you.
solution.
So, staying on the topic of business, what are some ways you think business owners or entrepreneurs can use or benefit from AI?
So there's a lot of the next generation of AI is going to be very interesting because right now it's not general enough.
Hmm.
Uh, it's got to be very purposeful.
Okay.
So you have to teach it the model that you want it to learn so that it'll help you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you load it with information. Like I have one of my other companies is a water filtration company,
Hmm.
and the water municipal water system is contaminated because the EPA doesn't take very good care of it.
Right.
And there's real time data that you can get what kind of contaminants are in the
Hmm.
water all the time, and then I'm going to match that up through AI with the technical specs associated with plugging in a filter that'll
Okay.
take those specific contaminants out of the water.
Got it. And using AI to do
All of
all of
that,
that
yeah.
type stuff. So, because my next question was going to be how how can AI help entrepreneurs or business owners be more productive?
Mhm.
But it sounds like what you're saying that is how, in
That's
a sense,
one
right?
way.
That's
That's
one
one
way.
way. And
Yeah.
there's going to be digital twinning.
Okay. What's
So,
that?
so it'll be I'm working with another company. Um, their communication. We're going to have to cut this part out.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
I'm working with another company, and they are an intelligent communication platform.
Uh-huh.
It's called ICA. It's an intelligent communications assistant. And let's say you and I were at the gym,
Hmm.
and you've got ICA loaded on your phone. I've got ICA loaded on my phone, and it will prevent the bad actors from calling you
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
because it knows your profile. It knows your profile where you are in social media. It
Hmm.
knows your address. It knows your doctor, and so when anybody calls you, it's gonna score the caller
Got it.
and allow the call to go through if you want it to go through
Okay. So it'll eliminate like the spam calls
completely,
and all that stuff.
completely.
Okay.
There's a new industry coming up called branded calling,
Hmm.
where people put their logos on the calls
Okay.
as they launch them. It's more expensive, and it's a moneymaker for the telcos. But the branded calling is the next step in trying to get the receiving party to answer the phone, because if the
Got it.
receiving party doesn't know the number, It doesn't
Don't want to
answer
answer
the
the
phone.
phone.
It only answers the phone 11% of the time.
Gotcha.
With branded calling, it answers from 33 to
Oh
75%
yeah,
of the
that's a
time.
huge jump.
But even with branded calling, it can still get spoofed, and that's where ICA comes in, because
Hmm.
it's going to completely eliminate. I'm so excited about this product and to be involved in it. It's going to completely eliminate robocalls.
Okay.
It's going to completely eliminate scams,
Okay.
the vishing.
Uh huh.
It's going to completely eliminate smishing, which is the SMS text that you get every day from
Yeah.
somebody that you don't know that
Oh
says
man,
hi.
it's like this huge thing now. I think with the SMS, they're sending out messages saying that people owe on their toll, on a toll or
Yeah,
something like
it's
that.
all a scam.
Yeah.
It's going to completely eliminate that, because ICA will ask before you get the message
Hmm.
why that person and isn't calling you.
Yeah.
And you can even have a portal so that if it's a voice call,
Right.
and if it's a voice call, then ICA will pick up and answer the phone and say, "Hey, why are you calling Tim?"
Got it.
And then it'll talk back and forth,
Yeah.
and they'll say, "Hey, I'm his doctor, and I have a reason for calling."
Hmm.
ICA will let you through. It might be your pharmacy. ICA
Go
will
let
let
you
you
through.
through. If it's somebody trying to sell you, pillow fluffers,
Yeah.
then it's going to talk to that person, find out it's a sales call, and
Right.
just keep them on the phone as long as you program it to keep them
Keep it
on
on
the
the phone.
phone,
Right.
and it'll run up the cost of their call so that they can't afford to be a scammer
Kim.
anymore.
Okay.
But it
That's
doesn't
awesome.
take any money away from the telcos, because they're still going to get billed for that call.
Right. And then for the average everyday person, that sounds like that makes a lot of sense. And I would like it because I'm getting spam calls now from local numbers,
Right.
and I'm getting spam calls from cell phone numbers. So for the longest time, I'm like, I don't answer the phone if I don't know the phone number. If you're not in my phone, I don't really need to talk to you.
That's
And
why only 11% of the receiving party are getting connected,
right.
because there's a new technology that has been pushed out by the cellular carriers.
Hmm.
It is called stir shaken,
Okay.
and stir shaken is a requirement that, when you get a phone call and it says potential spam.
Yep. Just got one today.
So that's stir shaken at work.
Okay.
So that's the telcos, the
Hmm.
wireless carriers implementing stir shaken that's required by the FCC, so that you don't get spam. The problem is that real callers
Uh
are
huh.
calling you, and they're getting potential spam too, and you're done answering the phone.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's where branded calling is going to fix that part of it,
Got you.
but it doesn't fix it completely. That's where ICA comes in.
Right.
MyICA.ai.
Okay. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. So I know as far as AI goes, ChatGPT is like one of the biggest ones out.
60 to 70% of the market is ChatGPT.
Okay. Now after that, because I think everybody's heard of ChatGPT at this point, for the
Uh,
most part, right?
uh,
If you're into AI or know a little bit about it, you know about ChatGPT. The next one would it be Claude?
See, they're all kind of different. Like
Okay.
Perplexity is Jeff Bezos' investment. And Perplexity is interesting because it's not only a chat bot, it's also a search engine. And what it
Okay.
will do is it uses ChatGPT.
Okay.
It uses ChatGPT 4.0. It uses Claude
Hmm.
3.5. It uses Lambda
Okay.
for multimodal applications. And so what this product does, and it's free.
Okay.
They've got
Yeah.
a $20 version of it for the professional, but they have a free version that's amazing.
Hmm.
And what it will do is it will go out and search, and it will also footnote at the bottom of your search, after it gives you your answer, where it found the answers to, and
Nice.
so that you can drill down on those articles further if you want
Want
to.
to? Yeah. Oh, that sounds like that's very beneficial.
It is.
Yeah. And the fact that it's using information from all the other ones, that gets me intrigued. That makes me say, okay, I need to check this one out.
See, that's where it's all going,
Yeah.
because they're all going to be using each other. Like DeepSeek.
Hmm.
DeepSeek and Lambda are open source,
Okay.
so you don't pay anything for them,
Right.
and so those products will have developers that develop applications around them
Hmm.
using the open source language.
Okay. So for someone who's just now like beginning to dive into this type of stuff, what does it mean when it's open source?
It means that it's written on a language model that is free
Okay.
for everybody to write to, and you're not limited to some of the licensing restrictions
Okay.
that may be in integrating to, say, a Chat GPT or a Claude or a Google Gemini,
Okay.
because those would have licensing restrictions, because you've got your API has got to conform to their standards.
Okay.
It's not an open standard for everybody to
So if
use.
it's open source, you're probably going to get better information from it.
You're
Is
going to
that
get it allows the developers,
hmm
the real propeller heads,
right?
to develop their applications on a platform that's free and unrestricted.
Okay. Got it. So with this information here that you're talking to me about today, where do you see all of this going, in the next year or so? I know it can
That's
be
a,
pretty broad because I mean it's a
that's a
lot.
good question. I believe, right now, like I said earlier, it's serial, where
Uh-huh.
you ask it a question, it gives you an answer,
Right.
and there's already AI automation that allows you to ask serial questions and then
hmm
give you an answer at the end of the chain. The agent AI market is going to be really interesting when the AI market, when the open source, Open AI, which is
hmm
the parent company of ChatGPT, develops their reasoning language
Okay.
so that the AI can actually uh, think,
Right.
and then it can go off and think, and then pass that information to another thinking agent
hmm
that handles something differently, and another thinking agent that handles. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Let's say I'm going back to ICA,
Right.
the product that prevents robocalls and texting and emails, and oh, by the way, those phishing and smishing, that's the first step of ransomware.
Okay.
So that's how the ransomware malware gets into the hospital system, uh,
Oh,
to
okay.
to take control of it and encrypt their data.
Yeah.
But so where's it going? Let me give you a real world example. Uh, let's say that you and I were at the gym,
hmm
and I had Ika and you had Ika on
Right.
your phone, and you said, "Hey, when you want to work
Come
out
back in
next?"
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could say, "Hey, Ika, send Tim my uh, availability for the next 3 days, and schedule an appointment for an hour for me and Tim to work out."
Okay.
And it would go to your Ika, and it would ask your Ika
hmm
what your availability was, and then it would schedule the call with me and you on our calendars, and we wouldn't even be involved.
Nice.
And see, there's 3 or 4 different agents that are doing that. So one agent is handling my voice
hmm
and turning it into text to send to you. Another one is handling my calendar and getting my available calendar to you,
Uh huh.
and then yours is going to your calendar. So there's
Right.
a whole lot of agents involved in, and what ICA does is it's a master agent,
Okay.
so it controls all those functions.
Got it. Got it. And then it would. So the agents is what tells it, gives it its next
It
like
has a
level of operation or
has
something
a
like that, right?
very Each agent has a very specific task.
Okay.
Like if I was using a cell phone, one would handle voice,
hmm
one would handle voice recording,
Okay.
one would handle the calendar, one would
Right.
handle email, one would handle
Right.
social media.
So we're saying that going forward, it's going to be all of these. Like right now, it's one working by itself,
Correct.
but going forward, is going to be multiple working together
Correct.
to get it done.
And they'll
Okay.
be able to reason amongst themselves and make decisions,
Yeah.
which is again why it's so important
Yeah.
that there's a ethical
Right.
uh, character to it.
Yeah. 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 Man, that's kind of scary too
It
when you
is.
think about it.
It
But it
is.
can be very beneficial, and it'll eliminate a lot of. I mean, I guess that's the answers the question of how can it help people be more productive? Because now, as a business owner, right, talking about the gym, I don't have to worry about scheduling you.
Right.
I don't have to worry about when you're going to come in. You just
Right.
I say, hey, when you want to come back, you tell yours to schedule it for you, and it's gonna go ahead and do all that, and we don't even have to be thinking about that at all.
Another real world example where it will benefit people is, let's say you and I are working on a contract,
Uh-huh.
and you gave me your contract, and I was marking it up in a red line. I could tell Ica to send you my red line, and if
Uh-huh.
you had Ica would then, or any other digital assistant,
Right.
uh, I Ica would then take my red line, schedule an appointment between you and me so that we could go over it,
Right.
and then go out to its known database, wherever you tell it to go,
Right.
and get the legal implications of the words that I scratched out, so that you wouldn't have to go look them up,
Look at it all. Yeah.
and then you could come to the meeting prepared
Right.
with your legal assistant already giving you suggestions and recommendations of what to accept or not accept from a red line.
Yeah. I mean, man, that's crazy.
It is.
That's
It
crazy.
is.
It's actually, and it's exciting too. But
That's why it's so important to learn it now,
right.
because that's what crawl, walk, run. People are going to be running with this stuff in a
Yeah.
year, and if you're just then getting on board, you're going to be so far behind.
So far behind. Now, beforehand, you mentioned your paper that you have.
Yes.
This information is in there.
Yes,
Okay.
all of it is, and how the tokens, and that's how you pay for it.
Okay.
AI has output tokens and input tokens.
Yeah.
The your prompting is the input token, and I've got pricing in here for each one of them.
Okay.
And the input tokens cost typically less. As I recall, ChatGPT input token is $30 for 1,000,000 tokens,
Okay.
and they're $60, and that's an input token, and they're $60 for an output token.
Okay.
And it's usually the 80-20 rule,
Mhm.
where the prompting that you're putting in is 80%, you're getting 20% back.
Okay.
So that's how the cost, that's how it gets paid for.
Gotcha. Okay. So
And all that's done through the APIs. So all that pushing and pulling and
Uh-huh.
pushing and pulling, because some of the, like Chat GPT
Mhm.
has a different versions. Some of them are cheaper than others.
Okay.
So
Yeah, right. I do know that.
yeah. So depending on how deep the research needs to be,
Right.
that impacts the value, the cost of the token.
Gotcha. Okay. So, of course, we talked about the advancements of it and people being fearful of using it, right? So, what would be some advice you would give people who are afraid of AI or afraid that it's going to take over?
I use it to check the news.
Yeah. Okay.
So I use it to, if somebody says something on the news that I think needs a fact check,
Right.
or if I'm reading a paper, like I was reading these papers and I didn't know what public benefit corporation was.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I pulled up Perplexity and I said, what's a public benefit corporation?
Right.
And boom, I
Boom,
mean,
it's
it
right
tells me exactly what a public benefit corporation is.
Now, what would be the difference between? Well, okay, this question may not even make sense all the way, but what would be the difference between using Bing or Google to ask that question aside from Perplexity?
Real good question. And I don't use Bing or Google anymore,
Right.
because Bing or Google is going to give you a sponsored answer that they're getting paid for.
Ah, gotcha.
And
Okay.
you got to weed through all the sponsors
To get
like
the real deal.
like if you can ask it about gardening,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you if you're going to plant a garden, what's the proper acidity of the soil, as an
Mhm.
example, for the plant that you're planting.
Right.
But if you Googled that, you'd have to weed through all the sponsors, and you would never get an answer.
No, that is true. That's very true. Because I know, thinking about it now with this conversation, I'll Google something and then I'm like, I got to scroll through all the things that say sponsored.
Yeah.
And of course, I never click on those because I
Right.
understand what it is.
Right.
And yeah, okay. So that's why it's the best to use Perplexity for that.
Right.
Makes perfect sense, man. All right. Well, you most definitely got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've
You know a lot about
I've
this.
enjoyed the research, and I would encourage everyone to spend 2 or 3 hours a day studying this,
Okay.
because if you don't, you're gonna be so far behind you'll never catch up.
Gotcha. Now, where else can people get good information outside of what you have here? And we're going to put the link in the description for this. But outside of that, how can people learn more about AI and its tools and
I
whatnot?
subscribe to a organization that uses school, SKOOL, uh,
Yeah.
and the organization is called AI Foundations,
Okay.
and they have classes that you pay for.
Hmm.
I can't remember exactly what they are, but they're not very expensive per
Okay.
month, and it's got classes that you can go through, and it teaches you what AI is,
Yeah.
teaches you how to prompt, it teaches you how to put prompts in so that you get the results that you're looking for,
Yeah.
and you don't spend too much money on the tokens.
Right.
But don't be scared about the tokens, because if you're using Perplexity, a free version, it doesn't cost you anything.
Anything. And that is one thing I probably should have mentioned this earlier that I learned with Chat GPT is it's all about the prompts that
Yes,
you put in. You
yes,
can put the right or wrong thing in there and it'll
yes.
change up, And then also, from my personal experience, is just again, put in the right prompts. And then sometimes I learned that you can even ask it, what else do you need from me to give me a better
You can.
answer or
You
solution or
can.
whatever?
What I've found very successful is I tell Chat GPT or Perplexity or Claude what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
I say, you are an expert at search engine optimization,
Hmm.
and I'm going to give you a website, and I want you to tell me the words on how to use the words, and what to use for the metadata,
Right.
and the sub contact, so that I'll get more hits.
Yeah.
And some of the AIs will even return the code
Okay.
to load on your website, to
So you okay?
adjust your website for this.
Yeah.
It's crazy what and
Yeah,
it's
it
free.
is. That is the crazy thing. It's free and I
Python is what I was trying to remember.
okay,
Python.
gotcha. Another crazy thing that I realized recently. So at the gym, we're working on putting together corporate wellness
Yep.
things, going
Yep.
out doing events. And we're looking for businesses that would be interested in us doing so. So of course, I mean we use AI for the gym for
Sure.
ideas,
Sure.
everything. So it knows all about what we're doing and what our goals are, and it gives us, generates ideas for us and things that we can
Right.
use. So just playing around one night, I told it we were looking to do corporate wellness. I told it gave me an outline as to what it should look like or what it could look like and who we should reach out to. So I said, hey, well, I'm in Farmville,
Yep.
a smaller area. I need something to cater towards that. What are some companies I should reach out to for this? Lo and behold, it gave me a list of companies in Farmville with the email addresses of the HR person.
Right.
I was not expecting it to give me that much information.
It's crazy. The other day I was putting together a lead list, and it was 433 names, and all the leads were on different PDFs, and some of them had the phone number, some of them had email, some of them had their address, some of them
Yeah.
had their title, but they all didn't. They all weren't structured the same,
Okay.
and it was like 10 different PDFs. I loaded in Perplexity,
Uh huh.
and I said, "You are an expert at doing Google Sheets.
Hmm.
Take these PDFs, read them, and put the first name, last name, phone number in column A, B, and C, and
Uh
on
huh.
down the line." And it read every one of them, put them in there in a Google Sheets,
Yeah.
so that I could then just copy and paste it into a Google Sheet, so that
Right.
I didn't have to. Oh, and then it didn't have the addresses,
Right.
so I put the names back in there,
Uh huh.
and I said, "Can you give me the addresses for the ones that are blank?"
Yeah.
And
And it did it.
it did it.
Yeah.
That would have taken me a
A
week.
week. And the fact that we can use it for generating ideas. So
Oh, yes.
have you well you've seen our recovery room
Yep.
at the gym.
Sure.
I don't know if you saw what it looked like beforehand when we had stuff in the back there.
Maybe once I went to the restroom.
Okay, yeah. So took a picture of it,
Uh-huh.
and I said we're working on this recovery room.
Uh-huh.
This is the space.
Uh-huh.
Uploaded the picture, and it told us, hey, it recognized the fact that it was cinder block walls. It said paint them black.
Yeah.
And then it generated a picture of what it could look like.
Oh,
And I was like, man, that's crazy.
yeah.
You know,
The
that it could do that.
The image generation products
Yeah.
are yet. I mean, we could have a whole conversation about those because you can just put words in it.
Right.
I mean, just words in it, and it comes up with a picture that's incredible.
Incredible. My sister created a coloring book from
Yeah.
that, just playing
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, right.
And then I have the mindset of when I see something, I kind of go all the way into it. So I saw that and it just blew my mind. And I'm like, okay, now we got to create a book and a
Yeah.
coloring book and put some words to it and make it superheroes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing
Gonna
what
put
you can do.
Hallmark out of business
Man, it's going to do. Yeah,
because you don't need somebody to tell you how to write the poem.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Which can be a little scary too.
Yeah, right,
You know,
right.
just thinking about it.
Right.
But yeah, so we most definitely got to have you back and dive deeper into this because I know we can go so many different ways. But I really just wanted to get you on so we could talk about AI, its benefits. You gave some great information here.
Mhm.
Most definitely gonna put the link to your paper in the description so people can download it. But before we leave, you got any last words or anything you want to say?
Uh, yeah, I'd like to reach out to a good friend of mine, Jim Harrison. He and Jenny, he and his wife are struggling with their child. They have cancer. I keep a prayer coin in my pocket. I'm getting ready to send it to you, brother. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah. And what's the daughter's name?
Madison.
Madison. All right. So prayers out to Madison. And hey, man, I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming on.
thank
Most
you, man.
definitely got to get you on again.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, indeed. Until next time, guys, this is the I Am Tim Evans Show. This is Michael Gough. And hit the link in the bio and link in the description so that you can get his ebook and his white paper here on AI, guys.
Thanks, guys. Call